right. Welcome to the Better Than Me podcast with John Conover. And I am just so blessed to have some great friends in my life that, they've excelled in business. I feel like in some areas in business, they're better than me. I want to learn from them. And today I have the privilege of having my friend Jon Beebe on here from Beebe's Bargains, among other businesses that he has launched successfully. John, tell us about you, man. Well, by the way, recording this the morning after the Super Bowl. As an Eagles fan and a Bills fan, we can sympathize with each other a little bit, but I did lose my voice last night. Not sure when this is going to broadcast, but tell us about you, John. Thanks for being on.
Well, hey, John, thanks for having me. I appreciate it. Hey, when I think about this podcast, the Better Than You podcast that you're launching, John, I'm like, man, why is he having me on? But I guess maybe I am a better Bills fan than you. So I guess I have something one up on you. So yes, I'm from Buffalo, New York, born and raised there. Moved to the Philly area about 10, 12 years ago, and somewhere in there. And I moved to this area for a job I was currently working. I was actually, I went to college to be a pastor, and I was a youth pastor and pastor for 14 years, just under 14 years. And that's really what brought us to this area. But my wife is also from this area. She's from Levittown, PA, which is like about an hour and 20 minutes from where I live here near Reading, right outside of Reading, PA. So we're in the Philly area. So the Philadelphia Eagles are my second team. I'm a diehard Buffalo Bills fan. We are in the off season, so I'm a little more conservative in what I wear. Like this is the Josh Allen branded hat. So I still kind of rep my Bill stuff just a little more subtly in the off season, because in the regular season, I don't think I've been to breakfast with John. With John and I get breakfast often. I don't think I've been to breakfast with John without something Bills on. So that being said, it's a little subtle here. So, but my wife and I, we have 3 daughters. We've been married it'll be 16 years in June. And we have 3 daughters, a 13-year-old, an 11-year-old, and a 7-year-old. I'm not sure when this is launching, so we'll have a 13-year-old by then, because she'll be 13 this week, and then the 11-year-old will turn 11 in April. But yeah, so grateful for my wife. Her name is Lauren, and then our daughters are Ava, Juliana, and London. And they are just unbelievable blessings and joys to me and to my wife and to our family. So we just love what we love what we get to do. We love what we get to do it with, and life's just going really well. So it's a little about me. Like I said, born and raised in Buffalo, New York, so it's just a little about me.
So tell us, Beebe's Bargain. You made a transition out of church work, and you got into this business, and I believe your wife kind of started this business, and then things started going well, and then you jumped in. Tell us about where this all started, and why, and then we're going to get into so much good stuff today. You've built something pretty cool. There's a social media engine that you have that is very impressive. I want to get into all that today. Take us back to the beginning of Beebe's Bargains.
Cool. So my wife's always been the kind of person that loves like doing little hobbies at home and things like that. And then after we got married, some of her hobbies turned into like micro businesses she started. That lasted a little bit, made a little bit of money, and and they fizzled out or whatever. But then she had this great idea at one point to start a company called, she called it Beebe's Bargains on a Budget, was the initial name. Beebe's Bargains on a Budget. We've since shortened it to just Beebe's Bargains, but if you look on Facebook and find us in our Facebook group, it's actually still Beebe's Bargains on a Budget. And the reason for that is just a little tip here. Once you grow a Facebook group over 2,000 members, you cannot change the name of it ever. So you are stuck with that. So we were thinking of trying to get to a creative name and changing it. And we're like, well, we can't now. So we're stuck with Beebe's Bargains on a Budget. And then we realized, let's just shorten that and have that kind of be a tagline that's just on Facebook. And that'll just become part of our story and a learning process. So she started Beebe's Bargains on a Budget. And the goal, what that company is you might still be saying, like, what is Beebe's Bargains? What does it do? The goal of that company, our mission, is to save people time and money so they can engage more with those they love. And we do this by saving them time, by helping them scour the internet for the best deals on the products they're buying anyways, like whether it be Amazon, Walmart, Target, all those different, major retailers that they're going to be shopping at. So we find those deals and we post them to our Facebook group, to our Facebook page. We now have a Beebe's Bargains app where everything gets posted there. We have a Beebe's Bargains website where you can find everything on the website as well. All these deals, you can filter them, you can find the different categories you're looking for, and really, make the most of what we're offering. And we find these deals in real time, and we post them to all the social, like all of our channels. And the reason why it's important to find them in real time is deals change all the time. So here's the deal with Beebe's Bargains when it started. So let's go back to the beginning now. So I kind of fast forwarded a little to what we do, where we do it. The technical term for that is affiliate marketing. We're in affiliate marketing, but not everyone knows what that is. And, so how do we make money off that and stuff? We've established affiliations and great relationships with over 100 major retailers. And then
sorry, John, what are some of the biggest retailers you have partnerships with?
That would be like Walmart, Target, Amazon is obviously a big one. Other ones would be like maybe Children's Place, Dick's Sporting Goods. We're actually currently in a contract. We're actually in a contract with Under Armour right now. They've been working really close with us. We love Under Armour and what they have to offer, and our audience loves them. So, We've been in contract with some companies, major companies. We've had other companies where we just find their deals and we post them for them and we curate the links. What it means when we're in contract with somebody is they've come to us and said, you're bringing our company value, and we love to help you and even give you exclusive deals and things like that for you to post in your groups and things like that. So It's been really fun to do that. So back to the beginning. So my wife wanted to, her goal was as single family, we were living in a townhome. Her goal was to maybe get a single family home someday. Like, we always wanted to do that. But her ultimate goal was, she said, I'm like, hey, why do you want to do this? She's like, I'd love to make $300 or $400 a month that I can just help contribute to our vacation fund or different things, because you're on a fixed income working at the church and stuff like that. So I was like, that's awesome. Cool. Let's go for that. So she did that, and within a year, she was able to do that, reach that goal. But then that was in October of 2018 that she started this. And she had another small business going in the past that she had a Facebook group that already had some of her friends and family in. And when I say some, that had grown to about 500 or 600 in that group, but it had sat dormant for a couple of years because that business, she just decided to stop it. And, she wanted to spend more time with the family. She just felt too busy with that because our kids were really young at the time. So she just let that sit dormant. And when she started Beebe's Bargains, she just changed the name of that because it wasn't over 2,000 members. So she changed the name of that group and just launched it from there and told everybody, hey, we just want to bring value to families and to people that are on a budget, which, to be honest, everyone should just be on a budget. John, you're in the financial world and budgets are important. So even after you start to make good money, you still want to be on a budget because that's important. And that's just a little plug for John. He's good at what he does with families with finances. So that being said, so really, when you say Beebe's Bargains, it's for people on a budget. It's really for everybody, because even when I start to make more money, I still love to get deals. Like, I love doing that. So Lauren wanted to make.
Sorry, John. So, what's an example of one of the deals that somebody would go on the Facebook page, they would see what's one of the more common ones, or what's a deal that they would find?
The type of deals you're going to find are on everyday products. So, like, for instance, especially like, for instance, if it's Black Friday season, you're going to find TVs, you're going to find like sound machines for your kids' rooms. You're going to find like literally like anything from laundry detergent to, to TVs, to backyard patio furniture. Like, for instance, we had some great, we'll find some great deals in the summer. You'll see us post things where it's like, hey, here's a backyard patio set that might be regular, like $1,000, and we find it for like $500.
Wow.
So like, we scour the internet so you don't have to do that. And we find these deals for you. Like, for instance, a simple deal would be like, maybe you're getting a laundry detergent for maybe it's like $12 or $15, and we might find it for $6 or $7. I'm just shooting from the hip here because these are just things we found. So like, you'll save anything from, we've saved our audience hundreds of thousands of dollars over the last 3 or 4 years. Like, it could be, we don't have the metrics for that because it's hard to measure that, but it could even be in the millions. Like, that's how much. It's just, we've saved our family hundreds and hundreds of dollars, even thousands in the last few years doing this for clients. We buy stuff for ourselves because it's that important. And it's like, even during that time that we don't talk about much, like 2020, what happened there. So even during that season, we helped so many families find things in need. Like toilet paper, like Lysol wipes, like any of the things they needed during that season that they were having trouble finding, we were finding them. And what we realized is sometimes a deal, usually all of our deals are saving money, but sometimes a deal is just finding it available. Like for instance, when like PS4s or whatever are coming out and nobody's able to find them, people are following our group because we're checking that even to the minute, like watching when they're going to come out. And when they come out, we post it immediately. And people in our group get those things that are not accessible to most people because they're following our group or because they have our app and they have their notifications on for when one of those deals will pop up. I'm
hearing recession-proof business, right? Pandemic-proof business.
Unbelievable. Yes.
Side hustle turned into a family business. Talked about, when you stepped in and you started to partner up with Lauren, your wife Lauren, and you guys worked on this together, what happened from there? Because this is the part when I had breakfast with you, I think the first time and I heard your story, I went, wow, like, yeah, this is pretty cool.
So what's cool about it is I don't want to miss this. So our goal is to make a few $100s for Lauren, like Lauren wanted to do that. But now fast forward to today, and I'm going to back up to that question, but fast forward to today, we had to start hiring people because we just got so busy. And Lauren was literally working like sun up to sundown because these are real-time deals that you're finding every day. So Lauren was working like sun up to sundown for a couple of years. Literally on our vacation, she's working. Like we're at Disney World, she's on her phone working. Like she hustled her tail off to get this business up and running. Now I was doing the accounting and the back end stuff all from the start. So it was kind of both of us, but really she's the hero in this. So she put all of her blood, sweat, and tears into this to start it. And literally all of that. I don't know about blood, but the sweat and tears definitely. So now today we have 3 stay-at-home moms that work for us because we had to start hiring people. So we said our goal was for you as a stay-at-home mom to be able to make $300 or $400 a month for our family. Now we have 3 stay-at-home moms that work for us, and we provide more than that per month for each of their families. So that just got us so excited to be able to say, this is a woman started business, and now we're hiring stay-at-home moms so they can help contribute to their families and also give them ultra flexibility in their schedules. We give them flexibility because we understand their moms and they love working for us and we love having them work for us. So why did I step into it and what happened, as you asked, why did I step into it is it just started, the hobby turned into a business and it got very stressful for Lauren. Her strength is not like running the behind the scenes of a business, envisioning it and looking at the 30,000 foot view and figuring out how to do that. That's more of my skill set. Her skill set is having a community with these ladies that she works with, finding great deals, posting them, and getting excited about these deals and trying to figure out the algorithm so the algorithm likes us and actually people see our deals. That we don't always have that figured out. I don't know if anybody will, but doing that. So when I stepped into it, we started the group at about 600 members when we started in October of 2018. Fast forward to July of the following year, so not even a year later. So July of 2019, we hit 2,000 members, and we were super excited about that. We're like, holy cow, we grew from 600 to 2,000. We didn't realize we should also celebrate that we can never change our name again, but that was also something we should have celebrated. So we hit 2,000 members. We were ecstatic about it. And I was like, Lauren, this is a real business. She's like, no, it's not. She's like, you got to have like 20 or 30,000, people in your group for this to actually work. So now fast forward to today, we're at 62,000 in our Facebook group. And by the time this launches, we're probably going to have a couple thousand more because we're growing organically around between 800 and 1,200 members every month. We're growing organically without putting any ad money into it. We're not spending any money to do that. And I think the reason we're doing that is because we're actually creating a service that's helping people and causing them to invite their friends in. We did do ad testing at one point, so that's always a part of businesses trying that. And we just didn't feel it brought as big of a value as a referral client, as somebody referring somebody to your group. So that's where we are.
So in 4 years, 2,000 to 62,000 organically.
Yes. And maybe 10 or 15 of those might be from like ads that we spent like maybe
Okay.
10,000 of those. But
Man,
yeah,
that is so
we
cool.
haven't paid for ads in 2 years.
That's unbelievable. What so now and then you launched, so now you have like this hub, like you have this group.
Yep.
You've got an audience. You
Correct.
did that's the hardest part for any business is do they have an audience, right?
But yeah, it's
And
getting an
then
audience and letting them know you care about them. And then
Yeah.
they learn to trust you. You learn to trust them. It's like this, you're providing a service that you serve them because you care about them. Not just, you don't just gain an audience, say, yes, I'm awesome because I gained an audience. No, we gained this audience because we cared about people and we wanted to serve them. And that's very important to us as business owners. As we say, we want to serve first, and we just believe success will follow that. A guy I follow, his name is Pat Flynn. He always talks about that. He's like, serve first and success will follow. If you're thinking of success, like how much money I'm going to make, you're forgetting about serving your people. So focus on serving your people first. And we did that. And now the group is here where it is.
That's incredible. I'm just so blown away by that. So then you pivoted and you started a second business. Talk a little about Beebe's Travel, and then I definitely want to finish up with what's next for you this coming year.
Correct.
I mean, this is cool.
So Beebe Travel is a company I started back in June of 2022. So it's less than a year. So Lauren and I are passionate about traveling. We love doing that. We often joke that we live at Walt Disney World and we vacation to Pennsylvania. So we'll often joke about that. And I'm not always posting so much on social media, but I do post a lot when I'm at Disney. So if you look at my social media, it might seem like we live there, but we don't. So that being said, travel became a passion of ours. So I thought it would be cool to do something in travel. I stepped away from church work in full-time church work as a pastor. And it was 2 years ago, or almost 2 years ago. June, it'll be 2 years. And I stepped away, and a year later, in June of 2022, I decided, hey, I've been working a year into Beebe's Bargains. I'd like to also branch out and try something else that I'm passionate about. And I said, we have an audience. It would be cool if we can serve our audience in another arena as well, because we have this audience, and how can we serve them more? So we decided to launch Beebe Travel. And that was really kind of something that I focused on. Lauren's helped me a little bit with it, but that's something that really I've been focusing on because she's continuing to keep Beebe's Bargains running as far as from a client facing perspective. I'm still on the back end doing a lot of stuff with that. So what Beebe Travel...
Well, one of the things I want the audience to hear, because you said this to me one time, and I want the audience to pick up on this. There was an added benefit to Beebe's Travel that wasn't just the fact that it was more revenue or serving the clients more. It wasn't just that. It was that you already travel for Bills games and vacations all the time. And it was like the tax write-off alone that you were going to create, because you could market Beebe's Travel with all the traveling you're doing, gives you like a 25% discount now on all your travel.
Correct. That was definitely something that I was like, that's a good idea. When one of my financial guys told me that, he said, find things that you can do to do that. And while that's definitely not the only reason, and that's definitely wasn't the driving factor, that was a good plus, I'll tell you that. And it's good finding good pluses for doing things because it feels really good. So I did that, and I started that business as myself being a travel agent, a travel agency. And actually, while we're talking, so where I'm the concierge to all of my clients. And while we're talking right now, I'm in the midst, literally right now, I'm in the weeds of shifting Beebe Travel away from me being a travel agent and the business becoming more of an extension. Now, right now, Beebe Travel and Beebe's Bargains, while they're related because of our name and we both own them, they're kind of different entities. So what we're looking at shifting Beebe Travel to now come under the umbrella of Beebe's Bargains. And we feel like the reason why we want to do that is we started Beebe's Bargains to serve our audience as best as possible and really find them the best deals and do things like that and really serve them more. And now what I found is, because I've went under the travel agent umbrella, I'm in the weeds of planning a lot of detailed trips, and not only planning, but learning a lot about the whole world. And I'll just tell you, those that are travel agents, kudos to them. They are incredible. It's very, very, being a travel agent is not the easiest thing. And when I was going in to be a travel agent, I was told that, and I knew that. And I knew what I was getting myself into. I was well prepared for that. And I really feel like I could still do that. But after getting some really wise counsel a week and a half ago at like a mastermind retreat that I was at, where I was getting some really good business coaching and stuff, I realized that I'm spending too much time in the weeds of that. And what's happening is I'm not able to even focus on serving our clients in Beebe's Bargains the best way. So what I realized, what we're doing now with Beebe Travel, and really you said what's next. So this is kind of getting into that too. What we're looking to do with Beebe Travel now is bring that under the umbrella of Beebe's Bargains, have that Beebe Travel Facebook group be a division of Beebe's Bargains, but instead of Beebe's Bargains focusing on every kind of bargain, which it does, Beebe Travel will focus on solely travel deals. So whether it be like, because we have access to Groupon affiliate links, we have access, obviously we have luggage, anything travel, like maybe a packing list for Disney. We say, hey, if you're going to Disney World, here's a great packing list and here's the deals on those products you can buy. Here's a packing list for going to the all-inclusive in Cancun or whatever. So we're shifting that to there. But what we're also doing is, instead of becoming a travel agent, I actually it's not official yet. I mean, it is official, but we don't have, all the things in place. So when this launches, if you go to my website, you'll be able to see it. But I just actually landed a partnership yesterday with an actual travel agent and agency, where they're now going to be fielding any of my clients that want a travel agent services. So I've partnered with a travel agency, and now instead of me being the travel agent, I am now the person who is in charge of Beebe Travel and helping build that community. And rather than focus on building the community and also servicing all those clients, which is hard to do both, I'm focusing on build the community. And this travel agent is now going to work with me and him and his team, and they are going to help focus on taking care of the clients. So that way we can serve the clients best and still serve Beebe's Bargains and Beebe Travel best, because I feel so split that I feel like I haven't been able to serve the communities as best as possible.
Jon, it's incredible, because what I just learned, my selfishly, when I started this podcast, it was so that I could learn and then have everybody else learn along with me. And what I just have noticed a theme for you, a couple of themes. One is the one about, I love that you want to spend more time with the people you love, doing the things you love. I mean, that is like, for me, you got really zeroed in on that. You structured your businesses around it. I follow you on social media and interacted with you. You live up to that. And also then, from the themes of your business, you want your clients and your customers to experience that theme as well. But the other thing I just learned, and you did this with Lauren, and you identified her strengths. You let her identify. You got a role. She got a role figured out that was in her lane. You figured out your role. And then when you realized that you were doing something successful, but it was outside of your strengths, it was outside of your role, and it was spreading you thin, or it was taking you away from a role that would actually enhance the business, you pivoted, you evolved, and you brought in help. And now you've got people doing the work processing, right? All the work that you're going to create, they're going to process it. And what you're really good at growing communities. That's your,
I guess.
Finish with that. Let's just finish with growing communities. This is your deal.
So the reason why, which, as you said that, I don't even consider myself an expert in that or really good at that. But I guess now that you say that I am, I'm not trying to give myself a big head. I'm just trying to say, okay, that makes sense, Jon. You're saying it. So I think that even makes sense to what you said. I didn't quote this yet, but what I've established after I stepped away from church work and just try to say, like, what am I all about? What's a win for me in my life? Like, when I get to the end of my life, what do I want a win to be? And what am I going to be doing daily, weekly, yearly to make sure wins happen? And a win for me, I believe, is this. I win in life when I work and live, or live and work, either way, live and work in a way that allows me to engage more with the people I love and the things I love. And I wholeheartedly believe, and I've seen evidence in my life, that when I have the ability to engage more, not stop working. Notice I said work and live, because I want my work and my life. I want to be able to engage with the people I love in work. And I also want to be able to engage with the people I love in life, as well as the things I love. So I want both of those to be a part of both. And I've learned when you're able to engage more with the people you love and the things you love more, that your life just gets better. A good friend of mine, his name's Andre Young. He talks about work-life harmony. I think actually
he was our first guest,
okay.
man. Like, yeah.
Okay. Yes.
Great.
So Andre Young's book, if you haven't read his books, they're awesome. So, and he's a great speaker, but he talks about not work-life balance, but work-life harmony and how they should work together. The reason he talks about the harmony is sometimes you're never going to have a balance, but you're going to have a harmony and you want them to talk to each other. So like in my life, when I think about it, community matters in this because, and the thing I said there, the reason why I want to build my business is to do that for people, because I believe if everybody had engaged more with the people they love and the things they love or those they love. And that could be anybody. We're not pigeonholing anybody in the people and the things, because even for me, when I think of the people I love, it goes even higher to that. I think about how I engage with God. I think about how I engage my wife and what my inner circle looks like with my kids and some of my closest friends. And at the end of the day, when I can do that more, my life is better. I believe if every business owner here made sure their employees were able to engage more outside of work with the things they love and the people they love, and they checked in on their employees with that, I believe retention rate would go up for their companies, because it did for me. Every company I look at when I go back, every company I love to work for, they checked on me outside of work. They wanted me to engage with those. They made sure I took my time off. They said, are you taking your vacation days? Don't leave any of them on the table, because that is for your health and your benefit. So that is so passionate. I'm so passionate about that. But also you do need to work too. So let's get back to work. I love building communities. So why am I sick? What questions do you have around those communities, John, where you want to land on that?
I guess this would be the last question. And because I think this is like the exclamation point on the whole interview for me. You've had a background in working in communities through the church work. And so there was clearly a skill set there. What is one thing that you think is like there might not be the thing, but it's got to be something that you do on a regular basis. It's a habit, and it has helped build the communities that you have.
Acknowledge people.
Wow. Okay, that's it. We just ended it. No, I was kidding. Keep going.
I just think if people get acknowledged that they're an actual person, and they have a story, and their story matters. Like that goes back to even my church work, or even just meeting somebody in the supermarket. There's people in the supermarket that I engage with, and then they become friends of mine. Like that, I go over their house, or my wife's like, "Why are you going to hang out with? Who is this person?" And I'm like literally, I met a guy at the diner. Now, granted, he was wearing a Bills shirt, so that kind of played a part in it. But I met a guy at the diner. And his name's Alan, his wife's Angie. They were there and ended up just literally going in their booth and sitting with them and talking to them because we got no conversation. Now that sounds weird. I won't do that with everybody, but he invited me. He's like, "Hey, come sit here. Let's talk." So we talked and we became like friends. Wow. So he was going up to a Bills game at the Jet Stadium up in, East Rutherford, New Jersey, the Meadowlands, and we were going up there to the Bills Jets game. I heard he was going, and he said, "Hey, you want to tailgate?" So we took our whole family up there, and him and his wife and his brother-in-law were there, and they were tailgating. So we like to tailgate together. So we get there, go to the game, tailgate with them, go into the game. They were sitting in other places. Afterwards, we come out, we sit and post tailgate a little, and just kind of like wait for the crowds to leave, and then we leave. And my daughters, when we got in the car and we left, they were like, "Dad, who were those people?" And then I was like, "Oh, they're my friends." She's like, "I know you said they're your friends, but how do you know them? How do we know them? Who are these people?" And I said, "Oh, that's Alan. I met him at the diner, this, that." And she's like, and my wife's like, Daddy meets everybody everywhere and becomes friends with them. So like friendships are so important to me. I think you can have best friends, and I think you can, I almost call everybody friends but I have a lot of best friends. Like I'll have a dozen best friends, and I just think friendships are important. So I think acknowledging somebody that they're there, finding common ground with people, and I think the word goes back to love, just loving humanity, regardless if they're like you or not, regardless if they believe like you, regardless of any of that. If you put all those things aside and you just say, "How can I love this person?" Love is an action word. So it's going to cause you to do something. So in our community, like on Facebook, when people will ask, like, "Hey, we're looking for this deal," like we'll notate. Now we don't do this This doesn't always happen. So if you're in our group and it doesn't happen to you, we try our best. Sometimes we realize I heard a wise person once said this. I think it was a pastor named Andy Stanley. He said this. He said, do for one what you wish you can do for everyone. So
That's awesome.
we do our best to do it for all of them. But if we miss somebody, we understand we're not going to. Some people say, well, like the lunch lady at the lunchroom, she's like, when you were a kid going through, you're like, can I have an extra scoop of mashed potatoes? She's like, I can't do that because if I did it for you, I'd have to do it for everyone. No, she wouldn't. Okay. Everyone's not asking for an extra scoop of mashed potatoes. So sometimes it's okay that you can't hit everybody. But like, for instance, in our Facebook group, someone might say, hey, we're looking for this. Well, one of our staff members who's really good at that, she notates it. And then she goes and finds it for the person and then tags them and say, hey, I know you were looking for this. We found this deal. Does this work for you or can we find you something else? So we just
acknowledging people.
That's all it is. It's like that they're there and then acknowledging them and loving them. Like,
John,
and loving them is just finding what you can do to serve them and doing it for them.
I hope that when people listen to this podcast, they get out of it as much as I've gotten out of it. I'm just so grateful to have you as a friend, but I'm grateful you agreed to come on here today. And just thank you so much for being on.
Well, when someone says I'm better than them, I should probably come on because I'm like confused of why I'm better than them. But hey, John, it's been awesome. Hey, if any of you guys, can I tell them where to find?
Yeah, please.
Okay. If any of you guys want to talk any more about this, I'd be open to just giving you guys some encouragement or whatever. You can email me at Jon, Jon, at beebesbargains.com. That's BEEBES and then bargains with an S.com. You can also find us at beebesbargains.com on the web, or you can find our app on any of the platforms there. But yeah, the main thing is I just hope you're encouraged. And if I can help you in any way, let me know. But John, thank you for having me. It's been a privilege. And everyone just go acknowledge people and serve people today. That's what it's about.
Awesome. Thanks so much, John.